Alright, in a previous video I talked about major chords, particularly C, G, D, A, and E. And we talked about them being synonymous with a happy sound. So let's talk about the minor side of things now and get really gloomy and sad. Let's do some sad sounding chords. I'm going to show you 5 new chords now, and it's going to be 4 minor chords, and then I want to throw in another chord just to give you a set of 8. I consider these chords so C, G, D, A, and E, and then the 5 new ones I'm about to show you, the big 8. The big 8. Okay, so let's do these minor chords first, and then I'm going to show you one more major chord. Okay, so the first minor chord I'll show you is D minor. So here's how you play D minor. First finger goes on string 1, fret 1. Second finger goes on string 3, fret 2. And the third finger goes on string 2, fret 3. Okay, so this is a little bit of a challenge. I think I say that often. That's kind of my catchphrase. This is a little bit of a challenge. So if it is, that's great. If it isn't, that's great too. D minor. What's difficult about this? The challenging thing is, number 1, we have 3 fingers all very close together on adjacent strings, and you have to do this kind of spread with your first finger and third finger. Now when you lay your hand down kind of naturally on the guitar, most of the time your hand is going to, all the fingers are want to connect. And if you put your first finger by the first fret here, your third finger barely reaches to the third fret here. Barely gets there. So when I do a D minor chord, chances are, this is what happens most of the time, the fingers get too close together and you end up playing on the wrong fret. So here's what D minor should sound like. It's a 4-string chord, so you start on the 4th string and strum down. Okay, that's D minor. Let me just show you a really common mistake. The third finger going on to the 2nd fret. Another great chord, but not quite D minor. So here's D minor. Alright, let's move to another minor chord, the A minor chord. So the A minor chord is a 5-string chord. Sounds like that. And how do you play it? Well, your first finger goes on string number 2, fret 1. Second finger is string 4, fret 2. And third finger is string 3, fret 2. And I just mentioned it's a 5-string chord, so you start on the A string and strum down. Okay, so this is a really cool thing to observe. From our previous video, we talked about an E chord, and the shape for the E chord was this. Well, check it out. E chord and A minor use the same exact fingering. So in that previous video, I showed you one very common mistake, the first finger going down a fret for the E chord. Well, the reason why is because A minor and E look so similar. They sound great together too. We'll get to that some of the time. Okay, so here's A minor. Third minor chord, let's do E minor. This is everybody's favorite chord because it's probably the easiest one. There you go, I broke my mold from, this is so challenging. So this is the easiest chord, E minor. You put your first finger on string 5 behind fret 2. Then you put your second finger on string 4 behind fret 2. This is a 6-string chord, just like G and E. So you strum the whole, all 6 strings. Really nice sounding chord. So we got D minor, A minor, and E minor. Okay, so these next 2 chords are kind of wild card chords, and they're beyond the big 8. So the big 8 were C, G, D, A, and E, D minor, A minor, and E minor. Those are the big 8. So I'm going to throw 2 more in here, so you have a collection of 10. Oftentimes when you're playing popular music and folk songs and acoustic rock, the F chord and the B minor chord come up a ton. And they are really challenging chords to play, so a lot of times beginner students are deterred from playing those songs because they don't know an F, or they do learn an F and it's just too hard. Because an F chord requires barring. and so does a B minor chord. So I've come up with some solutions. Instead of playing an F chord, where you see F in almost every situation, you can play an F major 7 chord. So check this out. F major 7 looks like this. Your first finger goes on string 2 fret 1, second finger is on string 3 fret 2, and the third finger is string 4 fret 3. This is a 4-string chord like a D chord in D minor. Really pretty sounding. It's a nice chord, F major 7. Again, when you come across an F chord in a song, don't be deterred that you can't play with the bar chord and everything like that. Just try to replace it with F major 7. Almost every time it'll work great. Okay, another chord that comes up a lot is a B minor chord. Well, we can replace that with a B minor 7 chord, and that looks like this on the guitar. I put my first finger on string 5 behind fret 2, second finger is on string 3 behind fret 2, and the third finger is on string 1 behind fret 2. So they're all sharing fret 2, just like the A chord, but they're skipping each string. So I got one on string 5, one on string 3, and one on string 2. This is a 5-string chord, so you start on the 5th string strummed down. So in a lot of cases, when you have a B minor chord in a song, you can replace it with a B minor 7. Okay, so we got D minor, A minor, E minor, F major 7, and B minor 7. So, if you haven't already, go back to the other video that has the 5 major open position chords, C, G, D, A, and E, and really get those down, and then also work on these chords, D minor, A minor, E minor, F major 7, B minor 7. You're going to get tons of mileage out of learning these chords. Also, just to reiterate this concept of practicing, one thing that you really want to do is just focus on the left hand and just fret the chord. Go like this, back and forth, back and forth. I mentioned previously that you can just put your pick down and you just rest your arm right here and just go back and forth with the chords. If you want to, you can involve this, because I have seen in the past people doing this and not really paying attention, and suddenly they're doing a D minor chord on the wrong strings. So you can get this involved, where you strum a D minor, stop the strings, go back to a D minor, stop the strings, kind of go back and forth like this, just to make sure you're playing it correctly. So you want to do that with D minor, A minor, E minor, F major 7, B minor 7. You can also do the 5-minute rule, just playing for 5 minutes without stopping. That's great. Just a great exercise. Of course you can shorten that, do 3 minutes, or you can do 10 minutes if you want to, just playing the same chord. I really got lost in this whole kind of wash of sound of playing one chord when I was first learning the guitar. I did what did I do? A minor and E minor were the first 2 chords that I had learned, and I just played those things over and over again. It was great, great fun. And yes, it sounded like this. It did not sound good at all. So